Do you love Chip and Company podcast? Be sure to head over to chipandco.com for even more Disney Parks news, entertainment, and review podcasts. Chip and Company has been delivering the best in Disney news, planning tips, and more since 2009. And now you can get that news in an audio-only format, now 5 days a week. Every Monday, join Marc and Greg for Diz Life Podcast and start your week off the right way by living your best Disney life. Tuesday is our news and review podcast discussing the latest breaking news from the Walt Disney Corporation. Every Wednesday, we're discussing the best of Disney parks with Chip and Greg. Thursdays have Marc and Greg breaking down the top headlines of the week in And Company, a weekly news roundup. And don't forget to tune into Extra every single weekend where we give you a deep dive on the biggest topic of the week. Get that extra dose of Disney in your weekly commute, your time on the treadmill, or even just relaxing around the house. So what are you waiting for? Head over to chipandco.com today and become part of the fastest growing podcast network in the Disney community. We hope that you enjoyed today's podcast, and thank you for being a part of our podcast family. And now, two guys who are stealing as much H2O products as their luggage will allow, Greg, the Disney fanatic, and Diz Life Marc.
Hoy hoy everyone, and welcome to And Company. Welcome to our weekly review of the top headlines from chipandco.com as we delve deeper. We're going to dive deeper. We're going to delve deeper. It doesn't matter. Into the topics that continue to garner your love and attention. Thank you for being part of our show here on the Chip and Company Podcast Network. Listen, don't forget to subscribe. Be a part of the fastest growing podcast network in the Disney community, where you can now get daily dose of Disney 5. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week. Today on this podcast here at And Company, we are going to talk about an unwanted guest at a Disney Pop Century resort room, the potential return of the most electric parade at Disney parks. Also, an iconic brand is being retired and disappearing from the Disney resorts, and the biggest thing arriving to Disney Plus in the month of September. Marc will be bringing his Mount Rushmore of the week, and I am delving. Marc, I cannot talk today. I am delivering the spicy hot take of the week. Oh, it is spicy, my friend. And of course, as always, we will spend time trying to figure out where in the world has Mr. Chip Conford disappeared to this week. But before we get into the headlines, let me welcome the snickering voice you hear in the background, co-host of And Company and purveyor of the Diz Life podcast, Mr. Marc Valentine. Marc, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good. I'm about to delve deep into this episode with you, man.
There's a lot of D words that apparently I am not able to speak out loud today.
Yes. Let us
dive, deliver.
Let us dive, and deliver Disney news.
We're doing something. There's going to be a whole lot of Disney news, and we are going to go through this. An amazing week, Marc. You are now back home after coming down here to Walt Disney World Resort and spending 9 whole days down here. Have you gotten over the Disney blues of returning home?
You know what's the best way to get over the Disney blues?
What's that?
Get a ticket to go to D23 and to join you two in California.
Let's start off there.
That's the trick.
We're not going to. Our biggest news of the week was Chip and I were flying out to D23 Expo on September 8th to cover the whole expo for September 9th, 10th, 11th, and then flying home on the 12th. We found out the other day that we have been accepted as the media for Chip and Company. So we are now part of the D23 Expo media team, which left us having an extra ticket or two. And because we trust one Mr. Marc Valentine from Diz Life Podcast, he was invited out to join us as the third correspondent here at Chip and Company. So, Marc, welcome to D23 Expo, my friend.
That's how you do it, man. And let me tell you something. I'm very excited for you to see why Disneyland is so incredible. I didn't go there. You thought I was going to go with something else, but I didn't. I didn't. Just Disneyland. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, on that note, Mark, let's dive deeper. Let's delve deeper. Let's do something deeper with these headlines of the week.
All right. So recently, guests staying at the Pop Century Resort in Walt Disney World found an interesting guest, Greg, waiting for them in their room.
Was it Mickey Mouse?
No, it was not Mickey Mouse.
No.
It was
it Minnie Mouse?
It was a scorpion. The Scorpion King. And I'm not talking about The Rock. It's not the Scorpion King. It was a legitimate, like, Animal Kingdom scorpion.
Dude, did you see the size of this?
I did. The Reddit user...
It could be The Rock.
Yeah, so Reddit user ADCieno75, sorry if I butchered your handle, man, but it's kind of hard to pronounce and somewhat convoluted. But he shared the scary tale in the Walt Disney World community along with the photos to show. After the initial post, he shared this info. After notifying the front desk, they received a call from the manager. They hooked us up with passes for Cosmic, Flight of Passage, Rise of the Resistance, as well as a credit on the room. My kid has finally calmed down, so I'm most grateful for that, he said. It's been an entire experience, to say the least. Pest control was sent out to the room immediately by Disney. While smaller scorpions are common in South Florida, one Reddit user thinks this might belong to a previous guest, as a scorpion that size is really... It's not typical. It doesn't seem like that's indigenous to this area of the country in Florida. But you can see additional photos. And again, we only talk about the top headlines. Our readers have been clicking in droves on the Scorpion King. And it's crazy, man. At the time of writing this post, it had gotten almost like 1K upvotes and 281 comments and climbing. So,
not including the 7,000 clicks on the website.
Yes.
So that's what made this number one of the week. Okay. I don't even know where to start on this one, Mark, because first off, does somebody actually carry a scorpion as a pet?
No.
To bring that with them?
So in a lot of cases, like, I mean, it's a joke. It's a true joke, but like the whole snakes on a plane thing, you can get like invasive species. And this is just part of global and international travel. Like, and this was one of the most...
believe me, we know invasive species down here in Florida.
But this was one of the most fascinating aspects of when you study like world history and just the fact that like these flora and fauna can sometimes mistakenly get into lanes of transportation, get into pieces of luggage, and then climb in and climb out at a different area. It is one of the most fascinating elements of international and long distance travel. So there is a very real possibility that you could have had a guest that had stayed there prior and their luggage had been infiltrated by this scorpion in an area that they reside. That thing was just like a straight up hitchhiker and then climbed out at the Pop Century and just jammed out in that room. And listen, he wanted to go to see Mickey too. So do you fault the scorpion for wanting to have the most magical time and visit for the 50th?
Can I just say I am never traveling anywhere ever again after your description of a scorpion may decide to tag along in my luggage going from point A to point B. Okay, I know a lot of people wanted to blow this up and go overboard with this. Disney has no fault.
There's no control.
It's first off, they will scuttle and hide in the darkest and smallest of crevices. So could any cleaning service, could anybody have seen this prior? I doubt it. This obviously is either a house pet or came from somewhere else. If you live down here in Florida, you are used to seeing they're white and they're little clear, small baby scorpions. You never see the Rock scorpion like this one. So look, scorpions freak me out. Most things do not freak me out, but scorpions absolutely freak me out.
I know why.
I don't need to go. Why is that?
It's because as a child, we are of the same age. You watched Clash of the Titans.
I was just about to go there.
It really was Clash of the Titans that did you in. As a kid, that was like a core memory moment. You remember watching those scorpions wreak havoc in that movie. I guarantee it. One of the best
fight scenes of my childhood was Clash of the Titans. And then they go after Medusa and chop off her head. So
and it gave you
the Titans,
right?
Obi-Wan Kenobi was in that, right?
He was. So Listen, man,
Alec Guinness. I know all of a sudden I'm like off topic. Okay, go ahead.
You cannot blame Disney for this. And they did right by the guest. They comped the room. They provided them with like a lot of fast passes. Disney would
Which I'll stop you right there.
Yeah.
Please, folks, do not bring a scorpion with you.
No.
You will not probably get your room comped or anything else if this was your own scorpion. So please don't do this to Disney.
Yeah,
and you'll ruin it for the rest of the scorpions.
Disney would be in a no-win situation too. So like they already have like integrated pest management. They do a really good job of making sure that they're curtailing any kind of infestation in Florida. But there's also a balance too. You don't want to live in chemicals. Like they can't just spray these rooms wantonly to get rid of, all kinds of creepy crawlies. Like snakes are going to get in. Like scorpions.
I will take the cancer over the animal. Please give me DDT my room.
Listen, you're not going to get that.
Chemical burn me.
You're not going to get that. But you know what you are going to be forced to do is talk politely about the Main Street Electrical Parade. I gift that to you because that's your next headline that people want to hear about, Greg. And now I will challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to speak kindly of the parade that you love in your heart as much as I do. Because I really do. I'm not being facetious. I love the Main Street Electrical Parade. And it's your headline.
Thank you. Mark, is the Main Street Electrical Parade returning to Walt Disney World Resort?
I hope so.
A new merchandise item has Disney Park fans wondering if this nighttime parade could be coming back to the Magic Kingdom under a new name. The question comes from eagle-eyed Disney fans who noticed the name choice of Disney's Electrical Lights Parade, which is on the new Magic Band Plus that is showing up on Shop Disney. We have also seen this Magic Band ourselves at the Contemporary Resort here at the Walt Disney World Resorts. It may not seem like a big deal to some, but the wording is different. The parade has always used Main Street in its title, and subtle changes make us ponder if the parade could be rebranded for Disney World. Now, D23 Expo is only a few weeks away. Fans wondering if an announcement is coming for Florida Disney's theme park. Now, it goes on to explain that for more than 5 decades, the Main Street Electrical Parade has brought generations of family friends from around the world together to delight in its nighttime magic and imagination, led by the iconic train and drum unit featuring Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and Goofy. This fan favorite parade fills Disneyland Park with iconic music, sparkling lights, fantastic floats, depicting scenes from movies like Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella, Pinocchio, and more. Furthermore, in celebration of its milestone anniversary this year, the Main Street Electrical Parade has debuted an all-new Enchanted grand finale that celebrates the themes of togetherness as it unites more than a dozen Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar Animation Studio stories. As the grand finale passes by, guests along with each of the parade route see a different set of stylized scenes from classic and contemporary favorites such as Encanto, The Jungle Book, Raya and the Last Dragon, Aladdin, Coco, Mulan, Brave, Princess and the Frog, and more. Even though there's no official confirmation, it would be wonderful to see a nighttime parade return to the Magic Kingdom.
I'm so proud of you. You held back any disdain that you may have for the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Okay,
now,
I'm going to talk on the Main Street Electrical Parade for a second.
I was just going to give you the floor. Go ahead, man, and explain why. It's not that you don't want a parade. You want a different parade, right?
I want a proper parade. I think...
Whoa.
I want a proper nighttime parade. I don't want to see lights that were done in 1960 or prior. Yes, it has been updated. Yes, it has new light bulbs attached. There are such things as LED lights now that would make it brighter and color changing. The music, listen, nobody except Rick Wakeman from Yes likes listening to Moog music anymore. That went out many, many years ago.
Well, Chip and I do.
This parade is old.
Chip and I do.
It's beat up. The new float looks like they just took characters from It's a Small World from Disneyland, took them out, recoated them with a new color of paint, and then put them on giant sticks that bend and bulge and flop around like they're on. It looks like my local parade when I was growing back up in Pennsylvania.
That's not fair, man.
Look, it is a wonderful spectacular that we had for many years. But it is old, it's passé, it is well past its prime. It does not look good, it doesn't work good anymore. What Disney needs to do is take any money of this thing going on tour, send it overseas. Hopefully the container barge might fall down and drown this rest of this parade. Look, the characters, I love the characters. You give me Elliot, I love Elliot. You give me that snail, I don't even know. What's the snail's name? We don't know. We're calling it George. From now on, George the snail is my favorite float. Seeing Mickey on the drum, it's nostalgia. Sometimes we don't always need to live in the past in nostalgic times. It just has to go. Please don't bring this back to Walt Disney World. We're in the 50th anniversary. We're looking to the future. What we need to do is look to the future of parade technology and bring us something that is spectacular and over the top, not something that is old and has been here before.
Well,
thank you.
I'm telling you this right now. You are going to have to just bring something to bite your thumb, because it's going to happen. I'm going to bet you. I will bet you a Dole Whip that if we are at D23 and there isn't some kind of announcement that this is it's definitely coming to Walt Disney World, I will bet you a Dole Whip. And I'm going on record right here. If I lose,
so here's a question, and I'm with you on this. Don't you think it could possibly go to another park overseas?
I recall very faintly that prior to COVID and the closure of the parks, that there had been something, and I can never find it, mentioning that the Main Street Electrical Parade would be a touring attraction and it would go from one park to the next around the world. And I do recall very clearly, and again, I wish I could unearth this article, that it was going from Tokyo, then it was going to make a stop in Disneyland, and then make its way back to Walt Disney World before traversing over the Atlantic, and then basically making this journey so that people don't get old, and that when it does return, that it kind of rekindles a little bit of excitement. So here's the thing. You obviously have gotten over it because it's worn out. But there is merit to when things go away periodically and they come back, it's like chicken soup for the soul. Do I want the Main Street Electrical Parade to run ad nauseum? No, I don't. I like it in small doses. And I like the excitement that builds up around it, that it's back, it's here, it's temporary. It's like the McRib. No one really wants no one wants
Did we just associate the Main Street Electrical Parade with the McRib?
Nobody wants to eat the McRib all of the time, but they're excited when the McRib comes back because it's like, now I have to get the McRib. Why? Scarcity. The same thing. Scarcity does this parade well, and I'm going to bet you a Dole Whip. It's going to be coming. They changed the name, I think purposefully. They're going to bring it to the end of the 50th. So if you look at the time frame, if it does come for the fall and stay through to the spring, it's going to be almost the same amount of time that the Disneylanders had it. And then I think it's then going to move on to another location. And I think they're going to then take to another stage or another venue to say, congratulations, Paris, to celebrate your end of your celebration. Here it comes. So
that's great. Okay, so two things about this, and I want to make sure I put this out there. First off, if it does come to Walt Disney World Resort,
you'll see it.
I guarantee you I will be first in line to see it.
You will.
I absolutely will be first in line, right in at what they call Super Bowl corner, right at the Magic Kingdom with Cinderella Castle in the background. I will have the most epic spot ever for it.
I want to see the TikTok with you holding the sipper and the Elliott popcorn bucket as you're dancing along to the music, to the Mookie music.
Not only that, but next time you come down here, you and I must record them going down Main Street by themselves. It'd be epic. But don't you agree that with technology and what they have out now, Disney World should set the standard by having something new, though?
Is it the most progressive and technologically wondrous parade? Absolutely not. But there's something to be said, my friend, about nostalgia and the chicken soup that parade That musical refrain brings us back to all of us, brings us back to our childhood. And we have talked about now numerous times, we're celebrating a birthday. It's our 10th episode and we haven't been canceled yet.
But we're still on.
We're still on. We've talked about this in previous episodes. People do fear change. So it is nice from time to time when they can have that tried and true thing that brings them back, the piece of their childhood. It's not horrible to have that nostalgia in the park and to make sure that people understand that, like, yes, parks are always going to change, but we also have things that will always connect you back to your roots and your childhood. This isn't the worst thing in the world. And again, if you were to tell me it's coming back and it's staying for forever, you and I would stand on that hill together and I'd be like, dude, I'm with you. We can't bring this thing back for forever. We got to get a better parade long term. But for the short term and the interim, yeah, this is great. Like, this is really cool. For people who didn't fly out to Los Angeles and Anaheim, and now they're going to get that, like, I'm excited for them because I did see it out in Anaheim, and it was awesome.
Oh, are we bringing that up? Did you go to Disneyland?
I went to Disneyland. You're going, hey, do you know that you're going to Disneyland in 2 weeks? And then you'll...
8 days after it's done.
Yeah, you'll join me.
8 days after the parade ends out there. I was really looking forward to seeing it.
All right.
Enough pandering, my friend.
Enough.
Speaking of short term and coming soon, we have some news and some updates on what's coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah, so it's a big month. Disney Plus month is coming in September, and Disney definitely acknowledges and recognizes that this is their anniversary month. This is when they launched. There's way too much stuff to list, so we, again, recommend head over to chipandgo.com for a full and comprehensive list of everything that's coming. But obviously, so Thursday, September 1st, you're going to get the 3rd episode of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. I absolutely loved the first episode of this.
Love it.
I do not think that the remainder of the series is going to be like the first episode. I think that was a really interesting and fun and funny way to do the exposition of how she becomes She-Hulk, and bringing Bruce Banner in and bringing Mark Ruffalo to reprise his role as the Hulk in was just really wonderful, of them being down in Mexico, kind of navigating her new powers. Hilarious. And we also learned that Captain America apparently F's. So Wednesday, September 7th, High School Musical, the musical, the series, will have
love saying that.
episode 7 of season 3.
What's the show again?
High School Musical, the musical, the series. You have to say it with that same tempo to make it fun. On Thursday, September 8th, which is Disney Plus Day, as we just said, you're going to get She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, episode 4, Cars on the Road, Pinocchio, look out.
Which they just dropped a brand new trailer today, so you can actually see Pinocchio in action in the new trailer.
And it brings Academy Award winner Robert Zemeckis as he directs this live action retelling.
It's the D words today.
Directs this live action retelling of the beloved tale. You're going to get Tom Hanks starring as Geppetto the woodcarver, who builds and treats Pinocchio, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth as if he were his own son, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who everyone loves, is Jiminy Cricket. All-star cast. I'm in. I'm not usually this excited about live-action remakes, but here's a little bit of a hot take, man. I love the song, When You Wish Upon a Star. Do not overly like Pinocchio. Sorry.
Wow.
Let's move on. Hold on.
No. We have to go back. So I love the Blue Fairy and the Pinocchio story, or the wooden boy, or the boy coming to life, and the Blue Fairy. The Blue Fairy was like my childhood dream. Like, that was the first. It was just so magical. AI, such a great version of that. But you don't like Pinocchio.
Kids.
You know what? In the movie,
kids turning into donkeys, dude. Freaked me out. Remember how we were talking about scorpions?
Moving on.
Kids turning into donkeys freaked me out when I was a little kid.
You don't need to say any more.
Sorry.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
All right. We also have Growing Up. It's created by Brie Larson and Culture House. Growing Up is an innovative hybrid docuseries that explores the challenges, triumphs, and complexities of adolescence through 10 compelling coming-of-age stories. Very interested in that product and that project to see what that looks like. We have Tierra Incognita. It's a new series as well, following Eric Delaris, a teenager who discovers a chilling world while searching for the truth behind the new mysterious disappearance of his parents 8 years ago. Also sounds very interesting. We have the epic adventures of Bertie Gregory. That's too long to give a summation of, so we're just...
It's National Geographic Explorer Bertie Gregory basically takes his viewers on adventures around the world.
Check it out.
Nat Geo.
Yeah, check it out. Right after you watch High School Musical, the series, you can check out the epic adventures with Bertie Gregory. She-Hulk is dominating, of course, the month of September, but we get Dancing with the Stars season 31 premiering. We get Andor.
Which, real quick, on Dancing with the Stars, I do want to mention something about that.
Go ahead.
That is the first time that it will not be actually broadcast on ABC. It is actually being broadcast exclusively on Disney Plus. So that long-running show has been moved off of over-the-air antenna and put only exclusively on the streaming service.
Live, yep. 31 seasons in a movie, Greg. It's like Community.
There was a movie?
No. Are you you're not a fan of Community? Community?
Dude, I am the worst when it comes to TV shows. You would think after talking with me for months, you would understand that I don't get any references to TV shows.
Yeah, Community had their mantra was 6 seasons in a movie for the fans of Community to continue to like trudge on. And it wound up on like Yahoo's streaming service and it's like tail end of it. But Dan Harmon actually just announced too, they're working on a script for the movie. So it's going to come true. So that was my funny way of saying, even when Community came off of ABC, it had life. So Dances with...
You know what's sad?
Yeah.
Having to explain a joke.
I'm sorry. Well, if you watched Community, you would get it, and you would have been like, "Haha, Mark, you're very clever," and that's really funny.
I am sure people out there in the Chip and Co. podcast network community are snickering at this, going, "Oh, that was funny."
Haha, funny. You know what's not funny, Greg? Star Wars Andor episodes 1, 2, and 3 are out in September. On a scale of 1 to 10, how psyched are you for Andor?
To be quite honest, I'm about an 8.5, 9.
Okay.
I love the story of Andor, Cassian Andor. I can't wait. Rogue One, I think, is a spectacular Star Wars movie. So I'm really looking to see what they came off of doing this from. This is a lot of live action shooting. They're not in there, whatever that new way of shooting The Mandalorian and Boba Fett was. So they're not in that same production. Yep. They're doing it kind of a little bit old school. So I'm excited to see it. I know that when you saw the trailer, it didn't hype you up as much as it hyped me up. So let me hear what your issues were with the trailer.
So Wednesday of September 21st, we are getting 3 episodes to launch the series. I do like Diego Luna. I really enjoy him. I love him as an actor. I love this character. I think it's really cool to see this character being explored. I just didn't find, comparatively speaking, and I have to kind of yell at myself here because I'm always that guy that hates when the trailers show too much and you feel like you've watched like a light version of the movie. I feel like these trailers didn't really give you anything other than there's an empire and there's rebels. That's it. So,
and how did the rebels start?
How did the rebels start? But it doesn't really give you anything that juicy to kind of fawn over. And it's just, I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to love it because I love Diego Luna and I love this character. I like the fact that
and who knows, maybe at D23, we will get a drop of a new trailer for you to enjoy and get more out of.
I might cry if he comes out on stage. I'm just going to let you know if
that's not the only thing that I'm going to do.
If he walks out on stage, I might have a full on, you might look over to me and be like, Mark, get a hold of yourself. It's Diego Luna. It's Cassian Andor. He's right in front of me. We're K2SO.
Oh man, K2SO walks out. They did announce a whole new way of doing character interactions, so you never know.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is they've been talking about having these oversized characters, and if they can introduce those two things, listen.
I just hit the fun mark. We go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man. Anyway, continuing on Disney Plus.
Yeah, so let's keep with the Star Wars theme. Wednesday, September 28th. So we're gonna get a healthy dose of Star Wars. The Bad Batch is going to be returning for season 2. Again, that's Wednesday, September 28th. So Andor, You're going to get the second season of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, which is going to be starting and dropping on September 28th as well. And then we get Hocus Pocus 2 that I know you cannot wait for on September 29th. In Hocus Pocus 2, 3 young women accidentally bring the Sanderson sisters back to modern-day Salem and must figure out how to stop the child-hungry witches from wreaking a new kind of havoc on the world as they run amok.
Oh, don't do it. No, you didn't do it. Oh, you did it. So Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out.
So there's stuff coming out on Disney Plus.
I have nothing to say about Hocus Pocus 2. I will. Anyway, so there's that. I have nothing. I am not a fan. Like, okay, my wife and my daughter watch that movie and they giggle and they laugh, and it is a Halloween tradition now in my house for them to watch it. So for their sake, I'm hoping this lives up to the exact same hype. Apparently, we are not so big of fans that we misnamed the cat for the past month on all these podcast episodes by calling him Jinx, not Binks. So I was corrected on every episode that we did. It is Binks the cat, not Jar Jar Jinx. I got nothing, Mark. I literally have nothing to say about Hocus Pocus 2 other than it's coming out. So look, if you love it, there you go. That's amazing. I have no clue what High School Musical, the series is, but I hope people enjoy it and have fun, man.
I know that it has Olivia. It has Olivia Rodrigo in it because my daughter loves her, and that's about all that I know. Here's the one thing. If you were a fan of this subscription service, if you were a fan of Disney Plus, it seems like perennially that September is going to be the month that we will all be rewarded time and time again, that Disney is giving thanks for us as viewers and dropping whatever their blockbuster is on the streaming service. It seems like this is going to be the month they're just going to flood with incredible content.
Let's throw this out there just so folks know. I know it didn't make it into the this article, but September 8th will be Disney Plus Day at Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland and Disney resorts around the world. There's going to be special character meet and greets. There's going to be a lot of episodes dropped on September 8th. So Disney Plus Day is coming September 8th. Mark, where are we going to be? We are flying.
In the air. I will be watching Disney Plus on the airplane. I'll be watching it on my JetBlue flight out to Anaheim. And you know what? I won't be Thory because I'm going to be watching Thor Love and Thunder on the Disney Plus streaming service, which drops that day. I will be watching it on the flight out with screaming goats.
You must watch the screaming goats. Okay, Mark, let's get to this last article of the week that our wonderful audience at chipandco.com clicked on the most. This is the number 4 episode, and it's kind of growing fast. Mark, you and I normally, every single week, we've had something tragic happen that we had to discuss. We have had death. We've had a lot of death that we've had to go through.
Well, this is kind of like a death. It is.
Unfortunately, we have one more death to announce, and that is the death of the provider of Disney Parks bath products, H2O+. They are retiring at the end of this year, Mark. The provider of Disney bath products, H2O+, has announced that they will be closing at the end of the year. They made the official announcement on their website this morning. After 30-plus amazing years of innovation, we have made the very difficult decision to retire the brand at the end of the year. H2O+ products will be available exclusively on Amazon, and we will no longer be accepting orders on H2OPlus.com.
Dude,
if you head over to Shop Disney, all the products have been marked down. If you're a fan of all their products, now is the time to stock up. There's no word on what will be replacing these products at Disney parks.
There's no business continuation plan in the works. Like there was no golden parachute. They didn't want to sell. Like the company wasn't worth anything. I don't understand.
They were just like, we're done. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm retiring.
Really?
But what, don't you want to pass this on? Nope. I hate you all. Nobody gets an inheritance.
I don't know.
I'm taking it with me.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what the situation's like. I mean, who
joking,
knows?
But
who knows?
Seriously?
Well, listen, in what I do for a living, I mean, and I quite literally try to talk to people about like selling the farm because we work with the agricultural community in my line of work, and we're constantly talking about what's going to happen to the farm. as the next generation and like the kids of these farmers, many of them don't even want to take it on. And so in some cases they have to like lease it out to like third parties. And in some cases they're just like, yeah, we're getting rid of it. We're selling the farm.
Yeah. The amazing thing is the discounts right now for these products are huge. So if you're a fan of the Disney H2O Plus body and bath stuff,
stock up.
I love the hand lotion, Mark. That hand lotion would bring me back to when I did not live down here. Yeah. I would use that hand lotion every morning and be like, Disney.
Greg is
it's so wonderful.
Greg and Holly are going to be walking around the hallways of Disney, and you guys are going to be like the reverse Santa Claus. So instead of like giving out presents, you guys are going to have like these satchels of H2O hand lotion on your back in a giant sack that you're carrying over your shoulder as you're making way to keep the car running, Hal. I'm coming. What I'm going
to do is I'm going to take a suitcase inside the hotel and I'm just going to walk up and down the halls. So when the cast members are doing service to the rooms, I'm just going to be like, do you mind if I have an extra hand lotion, please? And they will be like, yeah, you're staying here. You have a suitcase.
And perhaps a sticky bun or four.
So
you understood that reference.
I did. I actually watched Into the Woods. I love Into the Woods. It's one of my favorite musicals of all time. That, Music Man, My Fair Lady.
Chip, what did you think of Into the Woods, man? Chip? Hey, man, where's Chip?
Nothing. Listen, Mark, I do believe, and this is tragic news right now, it's kind of breaking. I do believe that he's been captured, Mark, by Dementors. He's been taken away. When last we heard from Mr. Chip Confer, he was headed to New York City to experience the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and then visit the Harry Potter experience. Unfortunately, we have not heard from him in a little while. Mark, get your wand ready. We are cleaning off the dust on our brooms, and you and me, my friend, may be heading out on a rescue mission.
Happy Voldemort Day, Chip. As a Slytherin, I'm very happy for you, man. That is a great, on a side note, we took my daughter for her birthday, for her 10th birthday. We did the Harry Potter weekend. We did the VR experiences at the Harry Potter store on Broadway. And then we also took her to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. He is going to love that trip.
They're going to have a great weekend. Mark, who has 2 thumbs and is in Hufflepuff? This guy.
This guy
is the worst joke ever. So anyway, this week, ladies and gentlemen, we always put our top things into a Mount Rushmore. Mark is going to be the wonderful person who gets to list his top, whatever it is. I cannot debate his top list, but this is going to be his list that he would put on a Mount Rushmore of Disney. Mark, what is your list this week for Mount Rushmore?
Thank you, Greg. As you know, we just finished talking about a ton of things that are coming to Disney Plus in September, but my Rushmore this week is going to focus on Disney films and animation that need a little bit more love and a little bit more representation in the parks. So I present to you, without any further ado, the top 4 things that aren't getting enough love, the IP that's not getting enough love over at Disney World. All right, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go from number 4 up to, I think, the top. My number 4 is Wreck-It Ralph. Yes, it's a personal bias, but listen, guys, I can't get enough. Not So Scary Party has inspired me that we need more Vanellope, Ralph, Felix, Taffeta, and King Candy and the crew. There is a ton of property. There is a ton of real estate for them to take over, and we need them in Tomorrowland stat. So all hail the rightful ruler of Sugar Rush, Queen Vanellope Von Schweetz. Number 4.
Salmon, Ralph. Clearly salmon.
It's salmon. It's Wreck-It Ralph salmon. I don't know. It's a fungin. We need King Candy's Crazy Fungin. And it could be a walkthrough attraction, and it'll be like a fun house.
I'm there for, at the end, can you be given a piece of candy?
Have some candy, Greg.
It looks like his sidekick. What's his name? The little ball?
Sour Bill.
Yeah, we need a Sour Bill every time you come out. Sir, here's a Sour Bill.
There's not enough Wreck-It Ralph love in the parks. And so if I had to vote for something that needs more love, number 4, Wreck-It Ralph. Number 3 is The Emperor's New Groove. Look, the 2000s was an experimental time in Disney animation. We all know it, and they took some risks, and it was amazing. And let's be honest, this film, it's often glossed over, and it does not get a ton of love. Dare I say, it does have a cult following, and we are devout. So Emperor's New Groove fans, groovies, if you will, Disney needs... I'm giving us the moniker. We're groovies moving forward. Disney needs to pull the lever, Kronk, and give us the Yzma and Kronk coaster attraction over at Animal Kingdom or even over in the World Showcase, because as we've discussed on previous and companies, it is lacking South American representation. There are 0 South American countries currently represented in the World Showcase. So I feel like when we finally get representation from South America, let's make that happen with Cusco and the crew. All right, man. Number 2, Big Hero 6. We can't have Marvel proper over here at Walt Disney World, but you know what we can have? Superheroes. So let's get San Francisco over in Epcot, and let's theme an entire land with Baymax and the Big Hero 6. We had an awesome meet and greet with the Marshmallow superhero, but can we please get Honey Lemon, Wasabi, Fred, Go-Go, and Hero in the mix with a virtual experience that has us fly around the skies of San Francisco, just like the movie, so we too can be immortals. Immortals. Just watch below, Greg. And number 1, I know that everyone out there in Chip and Company podcast land is going to agree with me on this one. My boy Stitch, Greg, he was done dirty. Stitch's great escape was a sorry excuse for the beloved blue alien, and he deserves some love. Also, from the underappreciated era of Disney animation, in 2002, that year brought us one of the best new Disney characters, and he deserves a lot more than a breakfast and an occasional meet showing up on the Tomorrowland stage. I love me some Stitch, and I love the message of that movie. Ohana means family. So let's come together, Disney fam, and demand that our blue mascot finally get his place in the sun. Greg, those are my 4 intellectual properties that need more love in this week's Rushmore.
I'm not debating you in any way, shape, or form.
There's no debate.
I will say. There's no debate. I am not a debate.
It was awesome.
I did see Stitch today on the Tomorrowland stage, and he waved at me, and we got a few moments together.
And he needs more. That's all I'm saying. He needs more. Listen, you can't debate my list because my list is impervious. My list is
your list is your list. It is your top 4. I cannot have any say in the matter of it. Hence why it is your Mount Rushmore this week. And what a great segment you just did. Those are good. Yeah, I'm not even going positive or negative. It's just a good list.
You listen. If I'm being honest, there's like maybe 2 of those you wouldn't join me on. That I think you're on board with at least 50% of that list with me.
I am 50% with you. I can absolutely agree. Okay. And I'm wondering if you could figure that out. We'll discuss that at a later date.
No,
let's do it now. Yeah. Go ahead.
Wreck-It Ralph, you and we're on board.
Yes.
You're 1,000% on board with me.
I can use more Wreck-It Ralph all over the park.
And if I had to guess, I would say that you're not quite there with me on the Emperor's New Groove.
I am not a groovy.
Okay. So
I'm not a groovy, my friend.
And I would also I would say that you're not there with me on Mr. Marshmallow Baymax, that you and I share the love.
Wow. You don't think I'm there with you on Baymax?
I don't. I think that, you just said that how much you love seeing Stitch on stage. So
I loved seeing Stitch on stage.
Okay, but you don't want him on a ride. Okay.
No, I don't want him anywhere. No, come on. He sucks.
He toilet papered the castle, man. It was great.
He did. That was brilliant. If if Stitch was to come back, I want to see that happen a little more often. Like that is a Easter egg. That's something special that happens once in a while. It happened once, just like the dragon that flew over Cinderella Castle one time. Like we need something special. You don't know about that?
I do.
Oh my God.
That's why I shake my head. And we had an X-Wing fly once too.
Yes.
Where are they?
Where are they? Just like Stitch's toilet paper. Where'd it go? That was some large toilet paper, by the way.
It is. And we're gonna need a lot of toilet paper because I feel like we're going to have runny noses and running eyes after we bite into this spicy hot jalapeno of a hot take that you are going to deliver. If you don't remember, every single week, one of us is firing off a spicy hot take of the week. It is the ultimate editorial minute where one of us gets to wax poetic about something that is getting us all hot and bothered and maybe grinding our gears. And this week, Greg, you are up with the spicy hot take of the week. Go ahead, my friend.
Mark, I appreciate you giving me this time and giving me the floor and giving this microphone. I have a hot take this week. Cover music, Mark. Cover music. Mark, you know what is grinding my gears this week? Cover songs. I was just listening to the Disney hits on Sirius XM on my way to and from the park. As you know I do. You have been in my car. You know that gets played. It is Disney Princess Week here at the Disney World, across the Disney parks. They are playing a ton of classic hits from some of our favorite Disney animated movies. I mean, you think like Little Mermaid, Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, Princess and the Frog, Aladdin, Ohana, just to name a few. But here's the problem, Mark. They're playing the cover versions. One guy literally came on the radio today and said he wanted to hear, and I quote, the masterpiece that is the Panic at the Disco version of Into the Unknown from Frozen. A masterpiece, Mark. He called it a masterpiece by Panic at the Disco. Look, I have nothing wrong with these versions on their own. My problem comes from those versions making their way into the parks. They make their way into the entertainment in the parks. Let's talk Disney Enchantment for 1 second, my friend Mark. I would get so much more if I'd heard the Jodie Benson version of her singing Part of Your World, or Aniki Noni Rose singing the songs from Princess and the Frog, or even Paige O'Hara singing Beauty and the Beast. There is a reason these movies are classic, and we love all the songs from these movies. It is because those specific people sang those specific songs. They have amazing voices and did such a tremendous job. These songs should be what we hear inside the parks. Look, you and I, we all love Harmonious. You're telling me you don't want the right, you're telling me that Disney doesn't own the rights to Auli. I practiced and I'm still Auli Cavallo's version of How Far I'll Go. Come on, Disney. We love those original versions. In Harmonious, it wouldn't even bother me if they had the original singers from the versions that were shown overseas when they sing it in different languages. These are the voices we identify with. The Jodies, the Pages, the Owlies of this world are our princesses, and they deserve to have their music played, especially, Mark, during Disney Princess Week. That, my friend, is what is bothering me. I want to hear these princesses who have did the original soundtrack played inside of Disney World, played inside of Disneyland. I want these songs to live on forever.
I had the Screamo.
That is my hot take of the week.
I had the Screamo version of How Far I'll Go all queued up to take us out for this week, but I'm going to take it off. I'm not going to play it anymore. Now, after that hot take, the Screamo version of How Far I'll Go will have to wait for another time. That was hot.
Death metal version of How Far I'll Go, it cannot be played.
You must be swift as the coursing river. They're out there.
The unknown.
Listen, we joke, but I swear they're out there, man. Like,
oh, they are absolutely. I've heard the metal version of all of these, and some of them you're like, that's catchy. But a masterpiece, Panic at the Disco does not do on anything other than their own music. Look, I have nothing against Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco and My Chemical Romance and that genre of emo rock.
Listen, man,
but come on, it's a masterpiece.
Don't you dare, because I'm about to go join the Black Parade. If you say I'm leaving, I'm going to go. I'm going.
I was a young man, my father.
I'm going to go paint my fingernails black and join the Black Parade. And that's the last you'll see of me today. This was fun. That was nice and spicy, man. I liked it.
Thank you. I look, we all love those original versions. We all have a connection to them. It doesn't mean that other people can't do a good or better job, but when you're inside Disney, you want Disney. That's all I'm saying.
I like it.
Well, Mark, that will do it for another episode of And Company. Listen, you do not want to miss this week's Chip and Company Podcast Network exclusive with Disney legend and icon, Jodie Benson. We're going to be talking about her incredible new book. Mark and I have had a chance to preview this book, and seriously, we are very excited and just, I don't know how to express how excited we are to talk to Jodie about this project and much, much more. So please make sure you are subscribed to the best new podcast in the Disney community. Mark, it's time to grab your quarters. You and I, my friend, are headed to Flynn's Arcade. End of line.
End of line. Hey guys, Diz Life Marc here, and I want to tell you all about the official travel partner here at Chip & Company. Let our good friend Sarah at Destination to Travel help you plan your next Disney vacation. Sarah specializes in planning dream vacations for your family. She's an authorized Disney vacation planner, and she can help with every step of your magical vacation. The best thing is that her services are 100% free. Want to travel beyond Disney? Sarah has you covered there too. Want to find out more? Fill out a trip request form over at the website at Chip & Co. or email her directly at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com. What are you waiting for? Start planning that dream vacation today. Email her at sarahsolberg@d2travel.com.